A very good evening, everybody. I've just looked at the watch here and found that I'm a little bit late. This is Gulf Harbour Radio, ZMH 286, and it is the 18th of November 2024, and it has been a very busy day here, so just catching up. Our current weather, which has changed significantly since I went in a 15-foot runabout to Tiri Tiri Island this morning with 3-metre seas and 20 to 25 knots of wind. We now have only 5 to 10 knots of east-southeast, 19 degrees Celsius, so a very pleasant evening because we're a bit protected from the easterly. 1024.3 plummeting, I might add, and 30% cloud cover. So we do in fact have a pretty decent evening, and in fact the afternoon was quite good if you were not in the wind. Not so great at Minerva Reef, however. It is, according to the Pogean Minerva report, for the 12 boats that are there, 14 knots from the north. It's overcast. The rain has been on and off all day. The wind started life this morning with the northeast, but back at about 2 p.m. to the north. So with the rain on and off all day, I presume that people spent a lot of time just relaxing on the boat. We have got White Hawk in Margero, so John and Lynette will be probably stocking up on all of the different things that come in from all around the world. Margero, being a US dependency, has got a postal code, so you sort of like being in the United States there. You can get anything in from the US on, I think, almost daily flights that come in, and they have a ship that comes in once every couple of weeks with produce from Chile and all sorts of places. So it's all very, very nice in Margero. Civilized, yes, indeed, civilized. Okay, I'm going to try and find Kuaka, who are going quite well. I have their report on the AIS, but it's 6 hours old, and I have their 10 o'clock report, which is about the same time, even longer. So let's see if we can hear them. Kuaka, Kuaka, Gulf Harbour. Oh dear, we have radar, and it's still coming in. Folks, the fact that we have radar means that people who are listening to us on the radio are not going to be able to copy us. So just stand by. I will go, I think it's probably a waste of time, but we'll go to one of our other frequencies. Just stand by. I've forgotten, it's been so long since I did it. I can't remember what the other frequencies are. 8779. I can't read 88. Okay, here I am on 8779. I'm just going to go back one. If anybody can copy, I am going to 8779. 8779. Whoops.
That may be all right. It sounds like it's easy enough.
Okay, here we are on 8779, folks, but I suspect the people that are going to copy us will be on streaming, and I will try for Kuaka again. Kuaka, Kuaka, Gulf Harbour.
It's on there too.
No, it's not, because I haven't changed it here. Kuaka, 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 Gulf Harbour Radio. Well, this is a problem. This is the first time we've had such a problem, and I will be able to just repeat what I've just gotten from Lynn John, heavy rain much of the day today and gusting 43 knots in Marjorie. 43 knots, my God, in the last hour. One mooring dragged and one unattended boat broke its mooring, all under control. Well, that sounds like normal.
They never had moorings when we were there.
Yes, they did. They had some moorings. Yep, absolutely.
They must
Yep.
have added more.
Yeah, they only had a few moorings. Well, thank you for that. And I haven't got any information from Kuaka since 10 o'clock this morning, as their AIS is out. But they do have a lot of Chinese fishing boats now. It looks like ahead of them on their course. So if you are copying Kuaka, the fishing boats are ahead of you. Kota Nui hasn't reported in, but they are at, and this is only about 2 minutes ago, 17 degrees 21 south and 15548 east, on a course of 315 true at 5.9. And Picasso has certainly put the afterburners on, because they are have pulled ahead by the look of it. Their report was a bit older and they were just south of them, but about the same longitude. So that's the situation there. For those that are on streaming, you'll be able to hear David. For those that are not, I'm sure you wouldn't even have heard the frequency I transferred to, but it is our alternate 8779er. Here's David.
You sure you want me to talk on this one?
Yep.
Okay, well, amazing what a few days could make. We haven't had that radar, like Patricia said, for, I don't know.
Whole season.
Yeah, the whole season, I guess. Well, all right, let's hope that maybe the streaming people will hear all this. On Saturday, we discussed the high over New Zealand and the old high that was much further to the east, and we also talked about the polar dip and its consequences and the occluded front between the two highs. So now, today, there are still two highs. The one over New Zealand has moved east, pretty much near the Chathams, at 1036 millibar. Yes, it's gotten stronger. The eastern high has intensified too. It's 1038 millibar. And between them is still an occluded front. Only this time it has extended toward Newcastle. But the polar dip at about 25 south has encouraged a depression to form, just what we feared might happen. It's weak, but moves to, well, by lunch tomorrow, to about 30 south and the dateline, 30 south and the dateline. And hold on now, we have now only one high, and it's a monster at 1041 millibar, 1041. Haven't seen one of these in a long time. And that is centered, this is tomorrow now, centered near 45 and 160 west, 45 south, 160 west. From it, our occluded front hangs in there and extends to the very weak low that I just described, still at 30 south and a wee bit east of the dateline. It's quite ornery though. From the center of it, there are two troughs that extend. One heads off toward Tonga, about halfway to Tonga. The other one extends toward New Caledonia and gets about halfway there as well. So, Fiji Met service shows the low just to the west of Raoul Island and the Kermadec. However, they are more interested in a trough that is approaching them from the north, and that will affect Fiji tomorrow. So we're looking at northeast to southeast winds in Fiji, 10 to 20 knots, and poor visibility in areas of heavy showers and thunderstorms. This will continue probably through Wednesday. So that's the ticket for Fiji. Now for Tonga, their Met Service predicts for the Hapais and the Tongatapu area, moderate to strong east to northeast winds, 15 to 20, rising maybe 25 to 30 at times. Rough seas up to 3 meters, not good, and a moderate easterly swell to 2 meters, so that's on top of the seas. So you could just picture how unpleasant that is. For Wednesday, the Hapais, Tongatapu, and the Minervas will look for east to northeast winds 10 to 15, not too bad, rising to 20 knots at times, and seas 2.5 meters, plus an easterly swell to 2 meters. So if anybody is at Tongatapu, by the way, the barometric pressure at 1 p.m. was 1016 millibar. So if you want to check your barometer, that is what the reading was at the airport. All right, so looking at the departure from Minerva to New Zealand, probably not so swift at the moment, but the original plan, I believe, from Pogean was the 22nd. And believe it or not, at this point, that date doesn't look too bad. A high looks to sit in the Tasman about midway between Oz and New Zealand, and that'll ridge off to the northeast. Minerva winds look to be east-southeast, moderate, with a trough sitting right overhead. Not a real heavy-duty trough, but it's sitting there, and it'll give you some entertainment. Now the passage looks to have mostly southeasterlies, and it will have embedded convective activity, even though it's a high-pressure area. I think you might be used to that happening by now. Now winds on the 27th, pushing the date out, and that could be the date that folks arrive, could be light to variable. It's really too far out to offer any confidence in what I just said there, but it's quite possible that the high, will just be winding itself around and around with very well spread out isobars and not much wind at all. So that may or may not happen. So as the date gets closer, we'll know more. So that's it from me. A lot of interesting things out there. North of the island chain, going from Tonga to Fiji to Vanuatu to New Caledonia. North of all of that, we have got a tremendous amount of convective activity, troughs virtually everywhere, and all you need is your handy dandy satellite image, and you can see for yourself what's going on. So with that, here's the chief.
What about the one going to the west?
Okay, and whilst David was talking, we had a report come in from the two boats, Kotanui and Picasso, who I can explain the confusion now because they stopped at Mellish Reef, which is why we got a bit confused here. And they're on their way again now. It's overcast with a few big rainstorms. 18 knots from the east-southeast and east-southeast 2 meters, or southeast 2 meters swell, 1007. So here's a bit of weather for Picasso and Kotanui.
Yeah, okay, I'm looking at tomorrow at about lunchtime, and from what I could see, it looks like about 12 to 15 knots out of the east. It's going to be partly cloudy, and I would assume scattered showers along with that. Sounds like similar to what you've got today. And then I took a look at Wednesday, just making a stab at where you might be. Winds will pick up just a little bit. Easterlies again, 15 to 20, and also partly cloudy skies. So there you go. All in a good direction. And here's the chief.
And and I suspect there's not a single person on 8779. Just stand by one. I am going to go back to 8752 just to check on whether we can find Kuaka, because we've lost the hang on.
What did you lose?
Yeah, for some reason it won't do it automatically, so I'm going to have to go to 8752. We've lost the radar, fortunately.
Should have waited.
Okay, it's a bit difficult doing about 3 things at once here. All right, let's try Kuaka, Gulf Harbour Radio. No, nothing heard, so I'll try and get them on the email. Okay, they're just sort of approaching the bottom of the Tarawa sort of conglomerate of little islands. Right, and did I tell you where they were? Probably not. 10148 south and 17559 east, but that was this morning. Okay, that's about it, folks. Sorry about the radar, and I suspect we're going to have a bit more of that, but we'll have to just play it by ear. Cheers, everybody. Gulf Harbour Radio clear.